All right, folks, it is another morning, and we are here still in the process of growing. So happy to have you a part of the journey with me. And this is a part of the behind the scenes effort of co-work with me, what it looks like to go through that process, to rebuild, in our case, to grow on the legacy of what's been transferred to me. And one of the things I would say too, those of you who are going through your entrepreneurial journey, and it does vary from person to person. You may be going through a journey that includes startup. You may be going through a journey that includes acquisition. You may be going through a process that may include restarting or rebuilding. Whatever journey you're going through, one of the things I want to do is tell the story of the entrepreneur. And there are so many perspectives behind the story of the entrepreneur, particularly for entrepreneurs who are considered micro businesses. And how I'm defining micro businesses are businesses that generate $25,000 or less annually. So you may already have a job, whether full-time, part-time, but you're working your side hustle. And you're trying to think through and figure out how to transition your business from a side hustle to an actual business that pays you, that puts you on payroll, and that changes your life. And so this process, this behind the scenes, the co-work with me sessions are designed rather to bring you behind the scenes. And one of the things I'll share with you that I've been saying to folks as I've been talking about this series is that there's tons of good information on YouTube and other social channels. However, I fear that micro businesses may be listening to some of this information and may be processing information from good-hearted folks who have lived it and have done great work. However, their advice is useful and mostly applicable to groups and businesses that are in different stages. And there's very little information for micro business owners who are trying to mentally overcome the barrier of launching, getting started, going through the process, navigating through the journey of growth. And this series is designed to be that for you, to talk about the little things that you might want to consider, the mindset that you might want to shift. And you may have read in a book that your mindset should be this. Well, this series is designed to talk about, well, how do you get there? Because it can be difficult. It can sound crazy. It can sound like I've never seen this before, heard this before. But a lot of the things that some of your favorite gurus are sharing, it's real. However, it just may not feel real to you. So how do we get you there? Come with me behind the scenes as we go through this journey, as we navigate through some of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and start my day. I'm going to have you join me just for a few moments as we start to get through a couple of things. Last night, I made some notes of things I want to specifically work on, and it's not tasks. I'm talking about ways I operate my business. So join me as I go through that process this morning. And while I'm going through my process, go through yours as well. All right, folks. Hope that you're rolling along. Hope that this journey is kicking off to a good start for you. Let this day be great. May you find what you're looking for today to stay on track, to stay focused. I have meetings to get to. I'll see you on the other side. Peace. So just wrapped up the meeting. We got a presentation that's happening next week. Looking forward to it. Super excited about it. And one of the things that goes a part of this journey of entrepreneurship, a couple of quick things. Number one, exposure is good, right? So putting yourself in position to be seen, to be a part of conversations, particularly when you are on the cutting edge of some conversations or you're contributing to conversations relative to your business. So you may be saying, hey, how am I as a micro business owner on the cutting edge of conversations? One of the gifts that you have as a micro business owner is your nimbleness. Now, obviously, there are some challenges you're trying to overcome and it will take time. But the fact that you're small, you're able to move faster and do things that companies bigger than you cannot do. You're able to test things and try things and navigate through things. And this is a gift that you got to consider. So when you are looking at what you're building for your business, things that you're testing relative to your product or the way you deliver your service or the way that you cultivate products or the way that you're getting your products in front of your customers, whether it's marketing, messaging, branding, or sales, you may be discovering some things that are a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a mixture of this and a mixture of that, that's creating this momentum for you. And there will be times where you can present those things you're learning. Now, here's another a little tidbit for you. The goal is not to present so that you can give this false expectation or this view of your work as if it's like up here when you're really at this lower level. Really, the goal, if you're presenting, whether it's at a chamber event or an event that's industry related, is so you can continue to talk through your concept out loud in a group environment. Get feedback from colleagues and competitors and potential customers, and to get feedback that allows you to tweak what you're doing and building. That's the goal. And then of course what comes out of it naturally is marketing, branding, potential sales opportunities, etc. So every opportunity that you present is not going to be wired towards sales. Sometimes sales may not come till the next week, next month, next year, sometimes years down the road. But what you can get that's immediate is an immediate reaction and feedback on your process, your product, and what you are doing for your business. So when you have that opportunity, take full advantage of it. Don't say too much. Don't talk beyond your real capacity. Talk about things that are real for you, things that you're testing, things that are relevant for your stage of business, and let the growth happen organically. Now, yes, there's always going to be folks that will have viral growth, and maybe that's you. Maybe that's a part of your journey and your story. But I want you to be intentional about what is happening for you, what is available to you, what is not so viral, but what's consistent, what is plausible for a business that's steadily growing. It's micro revenues from $5,000 a year to $7,500 to $7,500 to $10,000, from $10,000 to $20,000, from $20,000 to $40,000, right? Just think about the sustainable things that you can work on that can make a difference. And so I'll close with this. The presentation I'm giving next week is about a body of work I've been doing in the past that has been very lucrative for our company. And so I'm presenting on what we've done, but we had put in a proposal that did not get accepted, and that's a part of the journey, to a potential customer that was continuing the work that we did, but also was adding a new tech component so that we could do more of the work that we believe is vital. And that work did not get accepted. However, what I will say is that it really put me and my team in a development position where we developed a new product and advanced it and enhanced it. And I believe that it is transformational. And so I'm presenting on that new tech that we built. That new tech actually got applied to other projects and other customers. So it's alive, but not alive in the context of the group that I'm presenting to. But the bones of it, the infrastructure of it, it works. It is something that is going to pay dividends. And I'm excited about that. And that's what I'm presenting on, right? And not for nothing, the audience that I'm presenting to is the type of audience that would potentially buy it. So I'm looking for their feedback, not necessarily on the tech itself, but feedback on the fact of, this is what I'm pitching, this is what my belief is, here it's built off of experience. Do you believe that we have a credible thesis? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, how can we pilot it at your facility, at your institution, so that we can start to test it in real life? And can it go from pilot to a paid product, service, or access to what we have to offer? That's a whole nother video. Check out some of my history, but we talk about how to start out with products that are free to the customer base that ends up being super lucrative for your business. So process through that, think about presentation opportunities, build from there, and watch things grow. Hey family, hope all is well. Just got back from having lunch with a friend and a colleague, just did a quick check-in. And one of the things I'm reminded of is the importance of relationships. Now, I teach my clients that the fastest way to raise money, the fastest way to have results, the fastest way to grow your business, or to have consistent outcomes that you're targeting is through relationships. It is through those that you do business with, people that you trust, people that trust you, people that you rely upon. And a lot of it really comes down to being a trustworthy person and offering trust and balancing the two, as well as maintaining those relationships across the life cycle of how relationships goes. Every relationship will undoubtedly have its life cycle where it'll cycle through a series of events, and everything and within a relationship does not mean that there's like this close tie and ongoing connection that's persistent. Rather, it's a connection that's developed because of mutual expectations, mutual experiences, shared results. Maybe there's a both and in the relationship where both parties win, or there's something connecting you with this person and they have the ability, in some cases, the power to have an impact on your business. And it is essential that if you're not good at it, you got to figure out how to get good at building and maintaining relationships. For me, what I have found to be helpful in building relationships is to offer myself as a helpful resource to a person or a group of people that I believe share values, goals, etc. with me. Whether we're trying to do similar work, or whether we're serving the same customer, whether we are in the same business, or we're trying to tackle a very similar problem. Whatever brings us together is what drives me to identify people that I could possibly help and offer value to. And where possible, if they're offering value to me, certainly I look at it and do my best to see how that connection can be made. When it comes to maintaining relationships, one of my favorite things to do is to go out to coffee with people, because it's a cheap date. Coffee is an opportunity to listen and to hear their story, to unpack things that may be on their mind. And a lot of times when we're having coffee, we may schedule 60 minutes to chat. We may spend the last 5 minutes on business, but the first 55 minutes on just checking in about life and about other relationships or other areas of interest. Or maybe there's an area of interest in the person that I'm talking to that I don't relate to at all, but it's fascinating to them and they want to unpack it and talk about it. And certainly I can be a listening ear. And when you're a listening ear, it builds a connection with that person and you're able to find some sort of linkage to their story. I can give tons of stories, but there was a person I met not too long ago. And when I met this person, you know, it didn't seem like we had much in common, but we decided to meet up again one-on-one to prepare the development of a new work relationship. And before we got down to business, we started to unpack each other's story just to kind of get to know each other. Come to find out, there was a lot more in common than we both realized when we first met each other and said hello. There were a lot of similarities in our stories. However, if you look at us on the surface, we look like we come from two totally different worlds. But when you got beyond that, we came from the same exact world, same exact story, same exact context. And you got to believe that when that type of discovery takes place, connections like that are not forgettable, because you end up realizing, man, I got a lot more common with this person than I realized. So every time we link up, or every time we talk business, or every time we go grab coffee, we check in on something that we share in common. And then we talk about business. And I remember in the early days when I realized this is a working model to build relationships, there was a particular person that I did this with, but it was done by accident. And this person who was kind enough to have, coffee with me, and I was just unpacking the story because I just heard about them from a distance and wasn't sure if we could do business together. This person unpacked their story, and what they unpacked did resonate with me. We did share it in common, but what this person unpacked happened to be something that was deeply personal to me, that this person was able to confront, deal with, and navigate. And I admired this person. By the time the meeting was over and we were wrapping up, we were walking out the door, and I said, oh yeah, by the way, the purpose of the meeting was to ask for a favor. Can you do this for me? And the response was, oh yeah, sure. Right? And then we scheduled our next meeting, and the same thing happened, and it kept happening. Me and this person really are friends today, but it became the blueprint of me understanding how relationships are cultivated in business. And so as a micro business owner, I'm sharing this with you. As a leader of a nonprofit organization, I'm sharing this with you. As you seek to build relationships, grow your revenue, develop new revenue opportunities, pursue grant opportunities, secure partnerships, strategic relationships, whatever it is important to build relationships with people and to maintain them. And this doesn't change because you've been friends or colleagues or they've been a stakeholder in your business for 3 to 5 years. It's continuous, it's ongoing, because it is all about connection. People do business with people who they trust and like. And it's added bonus that you're great at your job, right? Which you should be. It's a bonus that you're great at your business, which you should be. But the relationship piece is where we want to really focus our time and energy. And I want to inspire you and encourage you to focus that time, the time you spend with people, getting to know them. Yes, it's business, but business is personal. So make it personal. Make sure you're working on growing your relationships with key people, because it's going to make a significant difference in how your business is able to grow and thrive. So just wrapped up another meeting, and good meeting, just checking in with someone who's a part of the work I have going on. And one of the takeaways from that conversation, and it was a lot of good takeaways, but this person talked about the power of saying, I don't know. And the context of the comment was relative to a project we're working on. And the project is so big. The project is so massive. It's new, it's exciting, but there's just so much going on with it that there's so many places and spaces for discovery. And as we're trying to just unpack this project and eat the elephant one bite at a time, this person says it's important to embrace the power of I don't know. And the I don't know factor is acknowledging the monstrosity of what we're wrestling with, the importance of it. We already know the impact that it will have once completed, but as we begin unpacking things, we are actively in discovery mode, and we will be until everything is finished. And it's okay, and it is more honest, more transparent to move I don't know to the front of the line as it relates to communicating what we understand or don't understand. And it allows for your curiosity to take preeminence as you go through the discovery process. There are portions of the work you do as a nonprofit leader, as a operator and owner of a micro business, where you should have known skills, abilities, information, etc., where you should know. But there's going to be a lot that you uncover and discover on your journey of building and growing your business that you don't know. So what happens when you don't know? What you don't do is charge ahead with faulty or absent information, but you continue to move forward with what you do know. You then go through the discovery process to identify potential answers and solutions for what you do know. And that can include research, whether it's through your AI platforms or Google, whether it's reading, whether it's going to YouTube, whether it's asking people who are in the same industry or people who are doing what you're doing or who have found success in the area that you are targeting. It's going to take some or any variation of those things for you to uncover and discover the solution. There's going to be times where you're going to uncover the solution based upon active practice, actively doing. And when you're in the process of doing, you'll come through or come to a revelation of what's needed. But the power of saying, I don't know, is in you learning to try, to explore, to uncover, to discover. And I want to challenge you to be more open with I don't know. This is such a great segue into highlighting a book that I often highlight here on my channel. And it's a book called Who Not How. And it's by Dan Kennedy and Benjamin Hardy, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to make sure I get this right. Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And the book talks about there's going to be problems in your business that will always pop up. There will be questions that will require an answer. And instead of thinking of how do I solve this problem or what strategy do I pull out of the hat to make this problem go away or be checked off, the better question is, who can I contact to help me resolve this problem or this issue? Who, not how, right? Ask the question who, not how. Who can help me get it done, not how. The benefit of the who question is to put you in a position where you can say, I don't know how to do this because it's not my expertise. Now, I may be exposed to it. I may have some exposure, some insight, some thoughts and some theories based upon experiences. But I'm not fully well versed in all of the nuances that can get us to the finish line in a more efficient way. So instead of me figuring out through ChatGPT or Gemini how to do something, it's probably better for me to find a who. You may have something break in your home. The plumbing may be, not working, and you may have done some plumbing work in the past. You can spend a lot of time and money trying to figure out how, just because you have a fix-it gene in your body. But the reality is, if you're not a licensed plumber and actively practicing, you're not an expert. And it's much better for you to call a who, an individual. And so going back to the beginning of this video and the importance of saying to yourself, I don't know, it allows for humility to come in, for you to be focused on what you do know and stay super focused on it, and then unburden yourself with trying to figure out solutions to things that are not meant for you to figure out. It's better to ask who can help, as opposed to you trying to become all things for your business, all things for your customers, all things for yourself. I think this highlights the power of partnership and relationship, something we talked about in the previous segment. I don't know. It's great. It's a great statement. And it's followed up with, I don't know, but I love to unpack this with you or discuss this with you so we can identify the right solution. And if you, my friend, don't know, then can you help me identify the right who to bring to the table who does know the answer or enough answers to the question or questions that we're trying to resolve. All right, family, it is the end of our day here with our co-work with me series just for this day. And so for me, I'm thankful to have spent the day with you and to share various thoughts with you. A couple of things for those that are looking to capture your journey and trying to just do more in recording and sharing and vlogging. Camera gear check. Got the DJI Action 6. Got the three-way tripod stand servicing the Action 6 today from GoPro. Then I have the DJI Mic 3 as my mic of choice, and that's it, right? Click and go, and it's all set up here on the table. And so for those of you that are looking to capture a journey behind the scenes of your business as you're growing and developing, this is the setup I have. If I was in the service industry, I probably would have this. Earlier, I did test out the DJI Nano, sent it back. Reasons being it was too hot. It got hot really, really fast and battery drained. And given what I'm doing with the type of vlogging I'm doing, as well as the recording we're doing for our programs, our courses, our material, our coaching sessions, the DJI Action 6 is certainly what we need, and it's rugged. We can beat it up and it will still keep going. Beyond that, I hope that you got a lot out of today. I think my closing segment here is just a reflection to share with you. So I'm in the process of producing an invoice for some work that's been done. And one of the things I notice about me, and perhaps is the way I've been trained classically, the way I've come up in my career, the generation I'm a part of, but systems mean everything. Instead of working hard, it's best to work smart. And I'm in a situation where I am having to build some systems for this nonprofit that I'm leading now. And some systems existed in terms of how-tos, but very rarely did the how-tos align with actual systems and tech and formulas and automations to make the how-tos a reality. And so that's what I'm building right now. And so it is worth the effort that I'm putting in now to build the systems to match the how-tos, if not, and also refine the how-tos all at the same time, so that as time goes along, the grind either dissipates or becomes different, where I can invest my time differently. And I'm not overly investing in some of the early startup activities that are needed for this moment. So as you're building your business, as you're working on your micro business, perhaps you're launching your nonprofit and you're in the early stages, these are the important things you got to work on. You may be thinking about, how to serve your customers more and do more of this and more of that, and all that's great. But the way to scale is to build systems that can support the weight of the scale, right? So the more you want to serve, the more people you want to connect with your services, the more you need to build systems that allows for this to take place. And this is essential for the work that you're doing. I believe what you're doing is important. I know you know that it's important. And my hope is that you found encouragement today and you found some inspiration today as you build your business, as you build your nonprofit. Continue to focus on the good work. I'll see you guys next time. See you, everybody. Peace.